Scuba diving is a great way to explore the underwater world. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brayton and welcome to WatchMojo.com. And today we're at Total Diving to learn more about scuba diving. Let's start by having you define to us exactly what scuba diving is.
Well, scuba diving is a super fun sport where you get to go underwater and see things that nobody else does. The word scuba itself is actually an acronym which stands for the self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. But nowadays, the word scuba is widely accepted as a word itself. Basically, scuba diving is just about breathing underwater.
Who exactly can scuba dive?
Scuba diving has been made now so that everybody can try it. PADI themselves has programs starting as early as 8 years old. PADI stands for the Professional Association of Dive Instructors. And there's really no limit. There have even been many developments that allow handicapped people to scuba dive. And people who typically have other types of athletic or physical disabilities love scuba diving because once you're in water, you're weightless. So it makes it very easy to move around and overcome these other challenges which otherwise hinder them on a day-to-day basis.
Explain to us what draws people to this sport. I mean, basically, what makes it cool?
Scuba diving appeals to those who have the taste for the extreme, as well as those who just want to relax and enjoy a day at the spa. You take a combination of these two events, as well as throw into the fact that you get to see things that you would never see anywhere else in the world, and experience and relive the history of places through the marine history and aquatic life, really draws everybody.
What are we going to see underwater when we're scuba diving, or what can we see?
I would say in most situations, people like to go diving in locations where they can be in awe of aquatic life. The type of creatures and organisms that live underwater are so vastly different from that we have here on the surface. But another attraction, other than just fish and coral, maybe sharks and turtles, is that people like to get really involved in history and marine history through visiting shipwrecks. And I can tell you there's sometimes nothing quite like it when you're on the surface and you're getting ready. You have your dive leader who tells you about this shipwreck and the circumstances surrounding its sinking. And then when you descend down and come upon the ship, it's like the whole story comes to life right before your eyes.
Can you tell us about some of the world's best dive locations and what makes them so great?
Bonaire is one place that is extremely popular because it's outside of the hurricane belt. Fiji, for example, is probably one of the best locations in the world for soft coral. For those who like large sea mammals such as whale sharks, they might want to visit the Galapagos Islands.
I've heard of cold water versus warm water diving, or north versus south. What are the differences between these types of dives?
Well, this is a common misconception because when you're scuba diving, the water temperature is what it is. If you're down south, the water is warmer. If you're up north, the water is colder. But you are not. What's important is that you take the right exposure protection in order to make sure that you yourself are comfortable throughout the dive. I've personally seen people down south diving who come out of the water freezing. I mean, let's consider an 80-degree water down south, which is, our core body temperature is still 98.6 degrees. If you're in the water, it's stripping heat. If you have the right exposure protection, you can be very comfortable for a long time. And the same thing can be said about going ice diving in 1-degree water in the wintertime. If you have the right exposure protection, you're still going to be comfortable for a very long period of time.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.